Alright. Hi Mellissa. I hope I got everything set up so that you can see. Okay, I'm going to cut the 3s first. This shan't take long. Okay, first of all, let me show you how I've got this set up. See these lines right here? I'm going to redraw them. I didn't even think about this until just now. I use them as guidelines for how thick I need the flaps to be. This also has a laser on it so that when I cut, it can show me exactly where the lines are that, like suppose I got to cut one whole side off where the line is. I can have a laser show me this, but I don't need it. I could do it, but I don't need it. Anyway, so how I go about cutting these is first I'm going to cut all the corners off of this, and then I will cut the flaps. But let me just show you how this part works. Now, also, I use this this right here, this little screw, to let me know. I can just look from above to make an arrow, if you will, by the triangle point. When I put it in here, then I can just see if I'm straight or not, make sure it's above the hole, and off it comes. So, okay, there's one corner. Corner's clipped. I could use the scissors, which I did till probably about 2000 and what year did I? 2000 and maybe 8 when I got this. So I've always done these by hand because that's the way I learned. But coming across tools you can use is so much superior. Makes it faster, straighter lines. Not saying that me doing it by hand is bad, it just, this is more accurate. That is what the 3 is supposed to look like. When it's clipped, drawn, clipped, this one's done, this one's ready. I'm gonna wash them all, of course, with alcohol to get them clean, and you don't want any kind of dirt on it because the glue doesn't stick. I mean it does, but it's just better to have clean clean paper, clean plastic, clean everything, clean hands, everything. hands have oil. And the plastic, for whatever reason, is dirty anyway. I mean, you wouldn't think so, but I got it from work years ago. I mean, they used to throw it away, so we get it out of the rubbish. Once we discovered that I was using it, people would save it for me. But some of it still got into the trash, but not like before we found out. I used to take our packaging at work when we get a return, and I would cut all the plastic I could off the packaging we sent out to get plastic that way. That's how I did it in the 90s. But once I discovered this stuff about, I think it was about 99 or 2000 maybe. That's how long I've been saving this stuff. Here we go. Alright, threes are complete. Let's do the big ones. Okay, now doing these is not just like clipping threes. These are a little bit different. So I go with stages with this to make it go faster. First thing I do is I clip this corner on all of them. And because this piece right here is the hardest part to do, I do that first always. And because these points are different than these points, as you can see, they even look different. I mean, they look alike, but they look different. This one's bigger, this one's smaller. I have to clip these different, but we'll get to that. Okay, so let me get all these first. Once again, I'm using this screw as a guide so I can look at this corner. Look at this corner and see it as an arrow, so I can tell just what angle it needs to be. Experience. But when I draw all this out for you, and send everything along, I'll make a diagram when I draw. As I write your stuff out, I will draw a diagram of what I'm talking about, and that way you can go and compare the video with what I'm talking about on the diagrams that I'm going to draw. The same thing that we're making. Okay, now dig this. Put them all together. Let me line everything up just the way the holes are. And you can see that it's alike. Hope you can see that. It's pretty much the same. Now this part is hard because this is going to be a flat piece. This piece has no flap, so I got to make sure I slice exactly on this line right here. I hope you can see it. This line right here, I need to slice it. I can't go in more and I can't be out. It has to be exactly on here. Now this is where the laser would come in, but I pretty much don't need it. I just been doing this long enough. I just line it up with the hole here and the hole here that I punched in. Straight up. Yeah, perfect. Absolutely perfect. You saw how I did it. I just lined it up and slammed it down. Okay, so let me do all these and... This is especially one of the parts that I needed a lot of help with when I would do it with by hand. For whatever reason, no matter how straight you think you're cutting it with a pair of scissors, it isn't straight. Not like that. Success. All of them were done perfect. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go to the next stage, which is we got to make the flap and then clip this piece here. Pretty easy actually, because I've got the guide that I drew that I showed you earlier when the guideline I drew on here. So what I do is I just clip it as a glue flap. What's a bummer is when you drop it on the floor, since they're clear, if you don't see where it goes, you gotta really look for it. Okay, so now I clip all the corners on this side off. Now each different size of point, every different length, every different width, every different point is different, because its dimensions are different. So every different size of star that you decide to create, because it's infinite, you can make any shape in the world you want. Once I show you all the different polyhedric cores and you decide how to make your own triangles or whatever kind of point you want, and I'll explain all that too as well. I'm sorry, I know I'm not good at explaining stuff, but trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so now what I've just done is that on the big points I've clipped both ends, this side and this side. So as you can see, the point is starting to look, or it's starting to look the way it's supposed to. Now see this piece right here? I gotta figure out how to clip that off so that because this is the flap. When this folds, this little corner piece, it needs to be smaller than this piece right here. Because if this corner edge is bigger than this, it'll make the tip of the point look round, if you will. It won't look good. So I got to make sure this is going to be the last clip I do. And sometimes I do it with scissors, but I'm not going to this time. I can just eye it and tell. Okay, so I'll do that part now. Now also what I'm doing is I'm also using that screw. The way the grooves in the screw are, I use, because it's a Phillips head, I use it just by looking at it from this, and I line up the lines on it, and that's how I get how I see how much space I need to clip off. Let me see.